Hi, my name is Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. And before we begin with today's topic, which is 9 signs that your man is cheating on you and what to do about it. Very good topic. But before we go there, I'd like to thank you all, especially you subscribers, because we've had over 1 million views now. We've been notified by YouTube, and I would just like to thank you for joining me. We at the Marriage Foundation are trying to spread truthful, realistic teachings about marriage. It's very different from what you hear from the mainstream, as you will discover in this particular video on your man cheating. So let's go there. Let's do it now. And we'll begin with number 1. This is a problem that you have. Just wondering if your man is cheating on you says a lot. You're a woman. You have intuition. You know things that don't necessarily add up in the world, but you know them to be true. This is a distinct strength that women have. And the reason you have it is because you're biologically a woman. And women are more connected to their hearts. It makes total sense. Because if a woman wasn't connected to her heart, and some are not, it would be very difficult for you to shoulder the burden of having a child. And I often use this example. Let's compare you to men. If a man was to go into the doctor, and the doctor said, "You know, sir, it's interesting, we did your physical and you're pregnant," the man would be, "Oh my God, do you have a scalpel? Get that thing out of my body." He would see it as an invasion. Now a woman goes into the doctor and she's pregnant, and the doctor says, "Ma'am, don't be frightened. Your baby's okay. But it's very unusual. Instead of having a human baby inside of you, you're carrying a baby duck." And a woman will go, "Oh." And it's because women are connected to their heart. The downfall for women is that the feeling of love, the true feeling of love, comes from the heart. And in order for nature to fool you, it's made that feeling similar to the feeling of an emotion. And an emotion is not, as the world is saying you should, something you should honor. It's just software, how your mind functions, how it takes things, and rather than having you be at DEFCON 10, it shifts the auto reaction from an emergency to a lesser emergency, and that's what emotions are for. And the current thinking in the Western psychology world is to honor your emotions. No, why would you do that? You don't want to. But you have this sense, this sixth sense, this intuition, and you have a feeling that your man is cheating on you. That's why you're searching this title. And you also have, because you're a soul, we're all souls, and because you're a soul, you have within you this infinite wisdom. It's part of the package of being a soul. The soul is all love, all wisdom, and most importantly, it's all joy. But we get trapped in the mundane life. We get trapped in that which the mind tells us is important. And that's why your marriage is in trouble. Because if you're thinking your man, your husband, is cheating on you, then you already know that your relationship with him isn't how it should be. Because if it were, you would be connected at that level of the soul. Love, you would be so in love, you would be floating in love. There wouldn't be any question about his fidelity, his loyalty to you, because you would feel him all the time. So here's the signs. But I wanted to let you know, you're already past that point. You already do know. Now here's the external signs, the outward signs. And by the way, what should you do about it? Well, the problem is that we're not taught anything about marriage. We're not taught anything about love. It's nobody's fault. We just aren't there yet as a society. So you don't know about love. If you look up love right now to show you how primitive society is, you look it up, you Google it. I did. I Googled it up in different dictionaries. Always comes out an increased like, an emotional state of mind. Well, I just told you about emotions. No. Love is a tangible reality. But we in society, not me, not those of us at the Marriage Foundation, but society doesn't want to talk about spirituality. They don't want to acknowledge that we're spiritual beings, that we are souls who have a body and a mind. They're afraid of the word God. God forbid you should use the word God. And so they don't talk about love for what it is, but you've experienced it. You know what love is. The mind is not capable of wrapping its arms around love. It's much bigger than the mind can handle. And so that's what's going on. You need to learn about love. You need to learn about marriage. Even before you got a license to drive a car, you had to learn about cars. You had to learn about the rules of the road. But for marriage, we learn nothing in our society. I used to be a divorce mediator. I was just like everyone else. My friends were the therapists who did couples counseling. And then I thought, my God, these people who are getting a divorce shouldn't be. So I've reinvented it all. Take a look at what we have to offer. Take a look at the course for women. It's totally risk-free. And I haven't gotten into the topic yet. So let's get into the 9 signs. Number 1, your husband, your man, he's withdrawing from you. He's not seeking affection from you. He's not wanting to spend time with you. Vibrationally, you can feel, we're all energy, and you can feel it. He's pulling away from you. That's the very first sign. Now, he'll have excuses galore if you press him on it, and you should not press him on it, because when you press somebody on anything, it's called confrontation. It's a form of attack. What does anyone do when they're attacked? They either face you back or they run, right? Fight or flight. And we're all driven to some degree by the drive to survive, that self-preservation. It's a constant within us until we learn to master our minds, which is what you have to do. Number 2, and this is a little subtle, he's starting to improve his appearance where he never really cared that much before. Men typically, and I'm not talking about professionals who have to look the part, the lawyers, the business executives, those who have to in order to make a living. They really care about their appearance, again, because of the drive to survive. We're not even taught about that. But now, he's making sure his hair is neat. That's what I do. See how neat my hair is? He's making sure his clothes are up to date. Maybe he's shining his sneakers. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you, as his woman, as his wife, as his mate, you're aware of it. He's paying much more attention to his appearance. Maybe he's starting to go to the gym more often. That's a sign. Number 3, he's happier, but he's still withdrawing from you. Why is he happier? There's nothing in this world to make us happy, really. Happiness comes from within. we should be getting all of our happiness from one another, the person who we're married to, the person who we're connected with. Because the greatest source of happiness is love. Do you feel like your marriage is just filled with love? Because you have to take a look at the reality. Why is he withdrawing? Why is he perhaps cheating on you? And I'm not saying he is. You already know he's not being fulfilled in the marriage. And it's something you can change. You can't change it by calling him on it. Don't do that. So many people do that. And the Western psychology, they say, well, pick the right time, present it using I statements, talk about your feelings. All of that is wrong. All of it. Don't confront him. Don't call him on it. Don't ask him about it. Instead, recognize the reality. Your marriage is not how it should be. If it were, you wouldn't be searching anything like this. You would be floating in joy. A well-run marriage produces undreamed of joy. And you don't have that. So you get busy. Get our course for women. Zero risk financially. And start changing everything about yourself in a way that will make both of you so much happier. And yes, you can do it by yourself. This is a myth that those who sell couples counseling have put out, that you both have to do it at the same time. It is just simply not true. That's for another video. So, number 4, he's avoiding arguments with you. What he's really doing is he's avoiding getting into any more conflicts with you. He's had enough. And if he does entertain these arguments, it's only to blast you, to push you away from him, because his eyes, mind, they're somewhere else right now. So that's another big sign. Number 5, he's less available. He's not going on dates with you. He may be finding time to have sex with you. He wants to keep you happy, keep you on the line till he's made his move, perhaps. Don't know. He's not spending time with the family like he used to. Not much interest. There's not much making him happy. And yes, it is important for you to make him happy. Every once in a while, we get some woman write in the comments section, oh, this guy, he's a misogynist, he's a male chauvinist, he's old school, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm in the school of love. I'm in the school of you should be happy. I'm in the school of God made us in a way where we're supposed to be continuously overflowing with joy and happiness. That's the school I'm in. I don't care about protocol and what is politically correct or incorrect. I want your marriage to be like mine is, like the thousands who have taken the course. I want you to be happy. God wants you to be happy. You may ask, oh, how do you know God wants you to be happy? Well, you know that happiness exists. You've experienced happiness. And he's given you free will and volition. Connect the dots. He wouldn't have given us these gifts if he didn't want us to use them to be happy. Happiness is where it's at. Okay. Number 6. He's praising another woman, such as a co-worker. Now this would mean that he's praising someone that's probably the woman who he's having an affair with, that he's cheating on you with. So it's not necessarily a sign for all situations. But in most cases, he will let it slip who he's having an affair with. It's just the way it goes. It's not going to be someone he met randomly. It'll be someone he knows. Because all cheating begins with an emotional affair, where he finds someone who he can relate to because you're not there for him. And you might say, I'm here for him, but he doesn't talk to me. Because usually what happens in relationships is we fall into that hole. I call it the first killer of marriage, which is over-familiarity, where you take each other for granted, and the first words out of your mouth in the morning are not, honey, I love you, but, oh my God, da-da-da-da-da, did you forget this? What are you doing? It's condemnation, criticism, and it's not fun anymore. Marriage isn't fun, and it's supposed to be fun. From the moment you wake up till the moment you go to sleep, holding each other. It's supposed to be fun. All right, number 7. He's being nicer to you, again, because he wants to keep a distance, a safe distance, but it's cold. You don't feel that connection. Now, you might not have felt that connection for a long time, but you're feeling this coldness. It's a big sign. Number 8. This is probably number 1 from other people, the mainstream. He keeps his phone from you. Well, it's a strong sign. Why would he do that? Why should he care if you look at his phone? Again, don't call him on it. Recognize that you got a problem in your marriage. You want to fix it. That should be all that you should be concerned with. Take this. Don't call him names. Don't condemn him. Don't judge him. Take it as a wake-up call. If you want your marriage to continue, and if you don't want it to continue the way it is, then take the course so you could change it all and have the marriage that I'm describing to you. It's doable. Or I wouldn't be pushing it so hard. I would make a fool of myself if I did that. Number 9, less and less intimacy. Now, you could exchange the word sex for intimacy. I don't care. However you experienced some time ago intimacy with your man, it ain't there anymore. And it's not because of the kids. It's not because of the challenges of the day. It's not because of COVID. It's not because of anything other than you have not been cultivating the love, nurturing the connection, infusing happiness into your relationship, because that's your responsibility. Is it his responsibility too? Yes, it is, but he has found a way out of a situation instead of coming to us and saying, what do I do, da 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 da. So when I speak to people in these videos, it's to those who come to us. They're the ones who are seeking help. And it's standard that 95 or more % of the time, only one of a couple is in a place where they can work on the marriage. And it's literally better for only one person to work on the marriage. It avoids all the nonsense that occurs in couple counseling, where there's competition, that's the big one, where there's intimidation, shyness, reluctance to do what they want you to do, because couples counseling is wrong. It's a session for complaining, blaming, rehashing. None of that will help your marriage. To help your marriage, you need a defined methodology to literally focus on the marriage. And it's a process. It's an amazing thing. You know, in our comment section, also for the articles that I've written, every once in a while we get some imbecile right to priest Manuka raisin or whatever it is. And we've been getting this for 10 years. He saved my marriage. I wrote to him, he cast a spell. That doesn't work, you know that. But there must be people out there who think it works, or he wouldn't still be around. But it doesn't work. There is no magic pill. But there are scientific methodologies that you use to drive your marriage the correct way. Marriage, everything in the universe has a mechanical component, and so does marriage. Physics works. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. And that works in the most mundane areas of our life, and it works in the most spiritual aspects of our life. And it works in marriage. And marriage is basically a spiritual event. And secondly, a material event. But you got to learn it all. You got to learn it all. So, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, unless you want to be mean. And I appreciate your coming by. I hope to see you again. I hope you see me again. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. Thank you. And God bless you. Take care.